You can command your wealth in That's right, 48 hours. Just 2 short days. It might sound bold, even unbelievable, but stay with me. Wealth is not something you have to wait for. It's not some distant goal that only a select few will ever reach. The truth is, you have the power right now to command your financial destiny, to align yourself with divine abundance in such a way that wealth flows effortlessly into your life. And the key? 3 divine declarations, spoken with absolute authority. For most people, wealth seems like something just out of reach. They feel as if they're constantly struggling, never quite getting ahead. They work harder, grind longer, but the flow of money never seems to come. Perhaps this is how you've felt at times, like no matter how much you push, the abundance you desire just doesn't arrive. But what if I told you that the struggle isn't necessary? What if I told you that the constant fight for wealth was only an illusion created by your thoughts and beliefs? Now imagine a life where the struggle ends, where you don't have to chase after money anymore. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you are in the natural flow of abundance. Wealth comes to you effortlessly. Opportunities appear, money flows in, and you no longer feel the tight grip of scarcity. This isn't a dream. This is the reality that is waiting for you when you learn to command your wealth with authority. And here's the best part. You don't need years of hard work to achieve this. You don't need to wait for some magical moment or for the perfect circumstances. All you need is to speak 3 powerful declarations. These declarations, when made with conviction, are the keys that unlock the floodgates of divine wealth. And when spoken in the right rhythm and belief, the universe must respond. Here's the contrast. The struggle comes from living in fear, from feeling like wealth is something you have to work endlessly for, something that's always just out of reach. The life of abundant flow comes from understanding that wealth responds to your vibration, to the words you speak, and to the beliefs you hold about your worthiness. It comes from knowing that you are the one in charge, not your job, your market, or your circumstance. When you make the decision to speak with authority, when you declare with certainty that wealth is already yours, the universe has no choice but to respond. These declarations work because they align your energy with divine law. They don't just speak the words, they change your very vibration. Wealth cannot help but be attracted to you when you speak these declarations in full alignment with the truth of divine abundance. The rhythm of divine law, the steady, unwavering flow of abundance, is what you are tapping into when you make these declarations. It's not about forcing or striving, it's about aligning with the natural flow of prosperity. Now here's the most exciting part. In just 48 hours, your life can be transformed. The moment you speak these declarations with authority, you will begin to see the world around you shift. It's not about making the right moves or hustling harder. It's about shifting your energy and allowing the universe to bring everything you need right to your doorstep. So, I ask you, are you ready to stop struggling? Are you ready to stop chasing after wealth and start commanding it into your life? Right now, before we even dive into the declarations themselves, I want you to commit to this new reality. Type in the comments, "I am ready to command my wealth." By typing this, you are affirming your readiness to step into your new identity. You are declaring that you are ready to receive the wealth and abundance that is already yours. And when you speak those words, the universe will hear you and begin to align everything around you to make this truth a reality. Wealth is not controlled by your job, the economy, or your market. It is not dictated by your circumstances, your education, or even your bank account balance. Wealth is controlled by something far more powerful, and it's something you've been holding with you all along: your words. This is the foundational principle behind the law of the word. What you speak into the universe, you invite into your life. Your words are not just empty sounds, they are creators of your reality. Florence Scovel Shinn, in her teachings, emphasizes that your word is your wand. This is not just a clever metaphor. This is divine law in action. The law of the word teaches us that the words we speak are like seeds planted in the soil of our subconscious mind, and in time, they grow into the reality we live. Every word you speak is either a seed of abundance or a seed of scarcity. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not judge your words. It simply responds to them. It hears them and acts upon them, magnifying whatever frequency you put out. In this very moment, the words you are speaking are shaping your future. If you want to unlock the flow of wealth into your life, the first step is to change the words you speak. No longer can you afford to use language that reflects lack, scarcity, or struggle. Words like "I can't afford this," "money is hard to come by," or "I never have enough" are words that program your mind for limitation. And because the universe simply responds to the frequency of your words, more lack will flow into your life when you speak these phrases. Think about how often we use these words, even in casual conversation. "I'm broke again," "I'll never get ahead," "money doesn't grow on trees." Each of these statements is a declaration of lack, a command to the universe to continue the cycle of scarcity. Your word is your wand, but if your words are full of limitation, that's exactly what you'll continue to manifest in your life: limitation. Now let's contrast that with the powerful, affirming words that open doors of abundance. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," say, "My supply meets every demand on time and in full." Instead of "money is hard to come by," say, "Money flows to me effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources." Instead of saying, "I'm broke," say, "I am always supplied with everything I need." These words, spoken with conviction, are not just hopeful wishes. They are commands to the universe, declarations of truth that align your energy with the rhythm of divine law. When you speak words of abundance, wealth cannot help but follow. You may be wondering, how can something as simple as my words change my financial reality? The answer lies in the fact that words are energy. Every word you speak carries with it a frequency, a vibration, and the universe is always listening to these vibrations, responding in kind. Think about it. If you constantly speak words of abundance, your subconscious mind begins to believe that abundance is your natural state. You begin to act as if abundance is already yours. And when your thoughts, words, and actions align with abundance, the universe has no choice but to bring that abundance into your life. It's not about trying to force it. It's about aligning your words with divine truth. And the universe will provide what aligns with that frequency. It's not enough to think, "I want to be wealthy." You must speak it with authority. Speak it as though it is already true. Speak with the confidence of someone who is already in possession of their wealth. When you say, "I am a magnet for wealth," or "I am worthy of unlimited abundance," you are commanding your reality to match those words. The consequences of negative words. Now let's take a moment to examine the consequences of negative words. When you speak from a place of fear, doubt, or lack, you are unknowingly sowing seeds that will block your wealth. Negative words like "I can't afford it" or "I'll never get rich" are contradictory to the abundant life you want to live. They create a vibration of resistance in your mind, body, and soul. They repel wealth instead of attracting it. Think of your words as blueprints. If you're consistently using words of limitation and scarcity, your blueprint for wealth is full of cracks, breaks, and incomplete structures. But when you speak words of prosperity, words that affirm your divine right to wealth, your blueprint for wealth becomes solid, complete, and unstoppable. You've heard it before: what you say, you become. This truth is at the core of the law of the word. Wealth begins with your words. Every day you have the opportunity to speak your abundance into existence. But this requires a shift in how you speak, not just occasionally, but every single day. Start by making conscious decisions about the words you use. When you're tempted to say, "I can't afford this," immediately substitute it with, "I am supplied with everything I need." When you think, "I'll never have enough," replace it with, "My wealth is constantly increasing." And when you catch yourself saying, "I'm broke," stop and declare, "I am abundant and prosperous." The more you repeat these words, the more they become true in your mind. And as they become true in your mind, they will become true in your reality. The law of the word is absolute. It doesn't care what you think about it. It simply obeys. Your words create your world. Affirmation challenge: speaking abundance into your life. Now that you understand the power of your words, I challenge you to speak only abundance into your life for the next 7 days. Repeat this affirmation aloud, every morning, noon, and night, for the next 7. I only speak abundance into my life. Let these words become a part of you. Speak them with authority. Speak them with confidence. Let them become the rhythm of your day, and as you do, watch as your life begins to shift. Watch as opportunities open up. Watch as wealth begins to flow to you effortlessly, because the universe must respond to the words you speak. one of the most powerful divine declarations you can speak over your life. I am supplied with all that I need and more. This declaration, simple yet profound, has the power to transform your financial reality by shifting your vibration and aligning your energy with divine abundance. It taps directly into the law of assumption, a principle that is essential for wealth manifestation. But before we dive into how this declaration works, let's take a moment to reflect on what it means to truly be supplied. For most people, the concept of supply feels like something distant, something that they're waiting for, chasing after, or desperately trying to achieve. They live in the mindset of lack, constantly thinking about what they don't have, what they can't afford, and what's not available to them. This mentality can block the flow of wealth and prosperity, because it focuses on limitations instead of possibilities. But when you declare, I am supplied with all that I need and more, you are affirming that your needs are already met. You are claiming that wealth, abundance, and divine provision are not things you have to wait for. They are already a part of your reality, ready to flow into your life at any moment. The law of assumption teaches us that in order to manifest something, we must assume it's already ours. This means that when you say, I am supplied, you are not speaking from a place of lack or hope. You are speaking from the place of knowing that your supply is already here. You are assuming the abundance you desire is already in your possession, not in the future, but right now. This is why this declaration is so powerful. It forces you to step into the energy of already having what you need. When you say, I am supplied, you shift from the mindset of waiting for your supply to come to the mindset of already having it. And this shift in perception changes everything. The law of assumption works because it aligns your mind, body, and soul with the reality of what you desire. When your inner world is in alignment with divine abundance, your outer world has no choice but to reflect that. The beauty of this declaration is that it doesn't just change your words, it changes your vibration. When you declare that you are supplied, you stop focusing on what you lack, and instead you begin to focus on what you already have. You begin to feel supplied, and when you feel abundant, your energy attracts more abundance. The law of attraction kicks in, and the universe starts to respond to your new frequency. The first time you speak this declaration, you might not believe it completely. You may feel that you're not supplied because your circumstances don't match the declaration. But remember this. Words are the key to your reality. The more you say it, the more you will start to believe it, and the more you believe it, the more it will show up in your life. Saying, I am supplied, shifts your vibration in several ways. Saying I am supplied immediately stops the flow of negative limiting beliefs about money. You're no longer speaking about what you lack. You're focusing on what you have. This shift in language is a shift in energy. Your subconscious mind is constantly listening to the words you speak. If you constantly say, I can't afford this, or I'm broke, your subconscious will take those words as truth. But when you say I am supplied, your subconscious begins to believe that you are already in a state of abundance. This changes the way you think, feel, and act, creating a ripple effect that leads to the manifestation of wealth. By declaring, I am supplied, you're aligning your energy with abundance. The universe responds to this alignment by sending people, opportunities, and resources that match the frequency of supply. You start to notice opportunities that you would have otherwise missed. This is why the law of assumption is so powerful. It's not about waiting for things to happen or for external circumstances to change. It's about assuming that what you desire is already yours, and acting from that place of certainty. Let's contrast two different mindsets, the person who lives in the mindset of waiting for supply, versus the person who declares, I am supplied. The waiter. This person spends their days in scarcity, always feeling like something is missing. They wait for the right job, the right investment, the right opportunity. They constantly worry about how to make ends meet, how to pay bills, or how to save for the future. They live with the belief that wealth is outside of them, that it's something they have to work hard for, chase after, or beg for. They constantly ask the question, when will my supply come? The commander. In contrast, the person who declares, I am supplied, does not wait for the world to provide. They command their wealth. They live with the understanding that abundance is their natural state, and they do not allow external circumstances to dictate their financial reality. They see money as a tool that flows effortlessly to them, and they act as though they already have everything they need. Their declaration of being supplied becomes their truth, and as they believe it, it becomes their reality. The difference between these two individuals is their perception of supply. One sees it as something they need to chase or wait for. The other knows that it's already in their life, and they simply need to claim it. To fully embody the declaration, "I am supplied with all that I need and more," start by saying it daily, out loud. Speak it with confidence, with the belief that it is already true. Say it first thing in the morning before your feet even touch the ground. Say it when you look at your bank account and when you encounter any financial challenge. Speak it over every area of your life. As you repeat it, visualize your supply coming to you from all directions. See the money flowing effortlessly into your life through your job, investments, side hustles, or unexpected sources. Feel the abundance already surrounding you. As you say it, believe it. I challenge you right now to pause this video and speak this powerful declaration out loud. I am supplied with all that I need and more. Say it with full belief, as if it is already true. Let it resonate in every part of your being. Once you've said it, type this in the comments. I am supplied. Let this declaration be your first step toward a life of abundance. By speaking it, you are aligning yourself with divine law and inviting wealth to flow into your life. There is a profound truth that most people fail to understand. Wealth responds to your voice. Your voice is not just a tool for communication. It is a commanding force that directs the flow of your abundance. With every word you speak, you are either attracting wealth or pushing it away. This brings us to the second powerful declaration that will change your financial reality. Money moves when I speak. This declaration taps directly into the divine law that governs the universe. You see, wealth is not something that randomly falls into your lap. It is not the result of luck or chance. Wealth responds to the authority of your words. It moves when you command it, when you speak it into existence. Your words are not just sounds, they are magnetic forces that pull abundance toward you. When spoken with the right energy and conviction, money cannot resist your command. The first thing you need to understand about wealth is that it is a response to energy. Your voice carries a powerful energy, a frequency that is heard not only by the people around you, but by the universe itself. When you speak with authority, when you declare something as true with conviction, the universe has no choice but to respond. This is why the declaration "money moves when I speak" is so powerful. It acknowledges the magnetic power that your words hold. Think about this for a moment. If you've ever tried to manifest something or work toward a goal, you've probably noticed that your thoughts and intentions alone don't always bring results. The reason for this is that thoughts alone are passive. They don't carry the same commanding force as words. When you speak something into existence, you are activating a much higher level of power. You are no longer just thinking about it, you are commanding it to happen. Wealth moves when you take command of it with your words. When you speak with authority and conviction, the universe recognizes the energy behind your declaration and begins to rearrange circumstances, opportunities, and people in alignment with that declaration. This is why it's not enough to just wish for wealth. You must declare it with confidence and certainty. So how exactly do words create this magnetic force that pulls abundance to you? The answer lies in alignment with divine law. Divine law is constant, it is unchanging, and it responds only to the vibration you send out. When your words are aligned with the truth of your abundance, they become a force that attracts the wealth you desire. Think about it like this. When you speak words of abundance, you are tuning into the frequency of wealth. Just like tuning a radio to a specific station, when you align your words with wealth, the universe tunes in and matches that frequency by sending opportunities, resources, and wealth directly to you. But when your words are full of lack, doubt, or fear, when you speak from a place of scarcity, then you are tuning into a frequency of resistance. The universe responds to this as well, but it brings more lack, more struggle, and more difficulty into your life. Your words are like a magnet. They either attract or repel wealth based on the energy behind them. When you say "money moves when I speak," you are not simply stating an affirmation, you are commanding the flow of money. This declaration gives you the authority to direct the universe's flow of prosperity. Think about a river that flows freely. Money is the current of that river. When you speak this declaration, you take control of the current. You are no longer a passive bystander. You are the one who steers the flow, guiding it toward your financial success. This is what makes this declaration so powerful. You are not begging for wealth, you are commanding it. You are calling forth your abundance with authority, and when you do this, the universe has no choice but to respond. Whether it's an unexpected check, a business opportunity, or a sudden influx of clients, this declaration opens the floodgates of divine provision. Let me give you a few examples of how this declaration works in real life. Imagine someone struggling to pay their bills. They've tried everything, working extra hours, cutting back on expenses, and even borrowing money. But nothing seems to work. Now let's say this person starts speaking the declaration, "Money moves when I speak." They say it with conviction every day. They speak it out loud as they look at their bills, as they plan their finances, and as they go about their day. Over time, they begin to see small opportunities, unexpected checks in the mail, a raise at work, a new client, or a side hustle that brings in extra income. As they speak the declaration consistently, they begin to attract the abundance they need. Money begins to move in their life because they commanded it to. Whether the amount of money you need is small or large, the principle remains the same. Money moves when you speak. This declaration is not limited by the size of your request. It works for anything from small expenses to large financial goals. For example, let's say you're looking for a specific amount of money to cover an unexpected bill. You speak the declaration, "Money moves when I speak," and you watch as the universe responds. It might be through an unexpected gift, a refund, or an opportunity that brings in just enough to cover the cost. On the other hand, if you are aiming for larger wealth, perhaps the funding for a business, the purchase of a property, or financial freedom for yourself and your family, the principle is the same. The declaration, "Money moves when I speak," still applies, but you must hold the same level of authority and belief for larger sums. Speak it with conviction, with the understanding that the universe will align circumstances to bring you the prosperity you command. Now, I want you to experience the power of this declaration for yourself. Pause this video for a moment and say aloud, "Money moves when I speak." Say it with authority. Say it as though you are commanding wealth to come to you. Speak it confidently, knowing that these words are a magnetic force that will begin to attract the abundance you deserve. Once you've said it aloud, type this declaration in the comments. "Money moves when I speak." By typing this, you are affirming your command of wealth. You are stepping into the role of the commander of divine prosperity. As you speak these words and believe them, you will see the flow of money begin to move in your life. There is a truth in the universe that holds incredible power. You are already abundant. The moment you make the declaration, "I walk in divine abundance," you are stepping into your true identity as a master of wealth. You are no longer just someone who hopes for wealth or works tirelessly to get it. You are someone who embodies abundance, someone who is aligned with the natural flow of prosperity. This declaration is not simply an affirmation, it is a transformation. It is a profound shift in how you see yourself and how you live your life. When you say, "I walk in divine abundance," you are claiming abundance as your natural state, your divine birthright. This is not an idea you reach for, not a distant goal to work toward. It is already yours. Abundance is not outside of you, it is within you. It is your identity waiting to be fully embraced and embodied. And when you speak this declaration with faith and authority, you align yourself with the limitless supply that the universe is eager to deliver. The power of this declaration lies in the fact that it anchors you in the identity of abundance. To walk in divine abundance means to stop seeing yourself as someone who is struggling or waiting for wealth. It means fully stepping into the role of someone who has always had access to the abundance of the universe. This is where most people miss the mark. They see abundance as something they need to strive for, something they need to deserve, or something they need to earn. But abundance is not earned. It is not about working harder or waiting for the right moment. Abundance is your inheritance as a spiritual being. The universe has already provided you with all that you need and more. The moment you declare your divine abundance, you stop living in the vibration of lack and start living in the flow of prosperity. Saying, "I walk in divine abundance," is a declaration of self-worth. It is a powerful statement that says, "I am worthy of wealth, I am worthy of prosperity, and I claim my divine right to live in the flow of abundance. This is how you begin to see yourself, not as someone who struggles to make ends meet, but as someone who is naturally aligned with the wealth of the universe. To fully understand the power of this declaration, let's contrast two mindsets, the lack mindset and the abundant mindset. The lack mindset is the belief that abundance is outside of you, that it is something you must earn or achieve. People with this mindset believe that wealth is for other people, not for them. They often say things like, "I'll never be able to afford this," or "money doesn't come easily to me." They are constantly in the waiting state, hoping that one day, wealth will find them. They feel that money is something that happens by chance, or that they will have to work endlessly to get it. On the other hand, the abundant mindset is one of complete ownership over prosperity. People with an abundant mindset know that they are worthy of wealth. They do not wait for it to come to them. They claim it as part of who they are. They understand that abundance is already within them, and all they need to do is walk in alignment with the divine flow that is available to them at all times. People with this mindset don't have to work endlessly for wealth. They embody it, and it flows to them effortlessly. They say things like, "I am abundant and always have everything I need," or "money is constantly flowing to me from all directions." The difference between these two mindsets is profound. The person who lives in the lack mindset feels like they are always reaching, always chasing after what they want, while the person who walks in the abundant mindset knows that abundance is already theirs. They are not in a rush, they are simply in the flow. When you declare, "I walk in divine abundance," you are stepping into your true power as a master of wealth. You are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. You are not waiting for the right opportunity to come along. Instead, you are commanding your reality. You are in control. You are the one who directs the flow of money, opportunities, and success into your life. Abundance is no longer something you seek, it is something you embody. And as you embody abundance, the universe must respond. It cannot help but reflect the energy you put out. This is the secret. Wealth is not something that needs to be earned or worked for. It is already available to you. The moment you step into your identity as someone who walks in divine abundance, you align your energy with that of the universe. And once you align with the rhythm of divine wealth, everything begins to fall into place. So how does this declaration change your life? It shifts everything. The moment you declare, "I walk in divine abundance," you stop seeing yourself as someone who needs to struggle to make ends meet. You stop feeling like wealth is something that is out of reach. You begin to see yourself as the person who already has everything they need, and more. You walk in confidence, knowing that your supply is always guaranteed, and that the universe will always provide for you. This shift in identity is everything. It's not about forcing your wealth into existence. It's about stepping into the truth that it is already here. The world around you will begin to reflect this new identity. Opportunities will open up. Resources will show up when you need them, and money will flow to you in unexpected ways. You stop chasing and start receiving. And as you do, you realize that the world was always abundant. You just needed to step into the flow. Now, I want you to take a moment and say this powerful declaration out loud. I walk in divine abundance. Feel the truth of these words as you speak them. Let them resonate deeply within you. This is your truth. Once you've said it aloud, comment below, "I walk in divine abundance." By commenting, you are making this declaration a part of your daily life. You are stepping into the rhythm of abundance, and you are claiming your divine right to live in the flow of prosperity. If there's one thing you need to understand about wealth manifestation, it's this. You don't have to wait years for abundance to show up. In fact, wealth can be commanded in just 48 hours. Yes, you read that right. The process is simple, but it requires faith, consistency, and most importantly, alignment with divine law. And in just 2 days, the shift you experience can be dramatic. The 3 powerful declarations we've already discussed, "I am supplied," "Money moves when I speak," and "I walk in divine abundance," are not just affirmations, they are commands. They tap into divine law and direct the flow of wealth to you. But in order for them to work, you must know how to use them correctly. That's why I'm going to break down a practical, step-by-step guide for commanding wealth. Wealth does not respond to hesitation, doubt, or uncertainty. It responds to authority, and that authority comes from knowing your words are powerful. When you use these declarations daily, embody them, and take inspired action, wealth cannot help but flow to you. The first step in commanding your wealth is speaking the declarations every single day. This cannot be a one-time practice. Wealth is not attracted by a momentary wish. It is magnetized by consistent action and faithful repetition. Every time you speak a declaration, you are creating a vibration in the universe that pulls wealth toward you. And the more often you speak it, the stronger that vibration becomes. Here's how you can do it. As soon as you wake up, before your feet even touch the ground, declare, "I am supplied with all that I need and more. Money moves when I speak. I walk in divine abundance." Feel the power of these words as you speak them. Let them anchor you in the vibration of abundance for the day ahead. Whenever you think of it, repeat the declarations. Let them become the rhythm of your day. Speak them when you encounter any challenges or doubts. Remember, your words are your wand, and you are creating the world around you. The more you speak these words, the more they will shape your financial reality. Before you go to bed, speak the declarations one more time, affirming your supply and the abundance that is already flowing to you. As you do, visualize the wealth you are commanding into your life and feel gratitude for what is already on its way. By speaking the declarations every day, you are priming your mind and spirit to receive the wealth that is already available to you. Consistency is key. Wealth responds to rhythm, not randomness. So, if you speak these declarations for 48 hours with faith and consistency, you will feel an immediate shift in your financial reality. Now, just speaking the declarations isn't enough. You must embody the identity of abundance. The law of assumption tells us that wealth is already yours, but it requires you to assume the identity of someone who has it now. This means stepping into the mindset of someone who is already wealthy. How does a person who is abundant think? How do they act? How do they speak? The truth is, wealthy people don't act out of desperation or scarcity. They act out of certainty, knowing that everything they need is already on its way to them. Here's how you can embody the identity of abundance. Believe it is already yours. Every time you speak your declaration, truly feel that it's already happened. Don't wait for the money to show up before you believe it. Assume that wealth is already flowing to you. Live as though you're already wealthy. Your thoughts, actions, and decisions should align with the belief that you are already in abundance. Whether you're making a purchase, planning your finances, or interacting with others, act as though you already have everything you need. This doesn't mean you need to overspend or live beyond your means. It means living in faith that wealth is already present in your life. Walk in confidence. People who embody abundance carry themselves differently. They walk with purpose and confidence, knowing they are worthy of prosperity. You don't have to wait for wealth to show up to act this way. You can choose to embody the identity of someone who is already abundant right now. The third crucial step is taking inspired action. This is where many people get stuck. They think that simply speaking the right words will bring wealth into their lives. While declarations are powerful, they must be accompanied by inspired action. Wealth is not just attracted by your words, it is attracted by the alignment between your words, thoughts, and actions. Here's how to take inspired action. When an opportunity for abundance presents itself, take action immediately. Whether it's a business idea, a job offer, or an investment opportunity, if it resonates with your declarations, act on it with confidence. Trust that every step you take is guided by divine law. Inspired action doesn't always mean making big moves. It often means taking small steps that align with your declarations. Perhaps you make an investment, start a new habit, or speak to someone about a new business venture. The universe responds to momentum, so even small actions that reflect your abundance mindset will pull wealth toward you. Inspired action often comes in the form of a gut feeling, a nudge, or an idea that pops into your mind. Trust your intuition and take action on what feels aligned with your wealth intentions. When you combine inspired action with your declarations, you create a magnetic force that pulls wealth towards you. What happens when you speak the declarations with faith, consistency, and take inspired action? The immediate shift is remarkable. You will begin to see opportunities arise that you never noticed before. Money will show up in unexpected ways. You will find yourself attracting people, opportunities, and situations that align with the wealth you've been commanding. Those who hesitate or doubt will see no change. because their energy is filled with uncertainty. When you hesitate, you're signaling to the universe that you're not sure if wealth is for you. You must act quickly, confidently, and without delay. The universe rewards those who are certain and take immediate action. In contrast, when you act quickly and confidently, wealth begins to respond immediately. Money moves when you speak it, but it also moves when you take aligned, inspired action. Now, I challenge you to commit to these 48 hours of wealth declarations. Speak your declarations with authority. Embody your abundant identity. Take inspired action. Type in the comments, "I command my wealth in." By declaring this, you are committing to the shift that is about to happen. You are stepping into your role as a master of wealth, and in just 48 hours you will see the manifestation of your declarations. Remember, wealth does not wait for you to be perfect. It flows to those who act in faith, speak with conviction, and stay in the rhythm of abundance. There is a profound and often misunderstood truth when it comes to manifesting wealth. Belief precedes manifestation. Wealth, like all other desires, doesn't show up because you see evidence of it first. It shows up because you believe it's already yours. Faith is the bridge that connects your present reality to your future abundance. The power of faith is not just in wishing or hoping for something. It's in the unwavering certainty that what you desire is already in your possession. Before you see it, you must believe it. This is where many people miss the mark. They wait for their circumstances to change before they can believe in the possibility of wealth. They want to see the money in their bank accounts, the business deals lined up, or the opportunities knocking on their door before they are willing to believe they are truly abundant. But that's not how divine law works. Divine law requires faith first. You must believe, without evidence, that wealth is already yours, and when you do, the universe must respond by bringing that wealth into your reality. In divine law, belief comes first. Everything starts with faith, the belief in something unseen, the trust in something that has not yet manifested in your physical reality. Think of it like planting a seed in the soil. You cannot see the seed growing beneath the surface, but you believe it is. You trust that with time and care it will sprout and eventually bear fruit. This is the kind of faith you must have with your wealth. Believe in it first, and the universe will work to bring it to fruition. Many people's desires remain unfulfilled because they only believe when they see. They wait for external circumstances to match their desires before they take action, or believe they can have what they want. But that's not faith, that's doubt. Faith says, "I believe it before I see it." It is the deep-rooted conviction that your desires are already yours. Faith is not blind optimism. It is the unwavering belief that divine law is always in motion, working behind the scenes to bring what you've asked for into your life. There are countless stories of people who have manifested large sums of money or incredible opportunities by acting as though they already had what they desired. One such example comes from a well-known entrepreneur who, at a time when she had less than $100 in her bank account, began to speak and act as though she was already a multi-millionaire. She would walk into high-end stores and tell herself, "I am worthy of everything in this store, and money flows to me easily." She would imagine her future success and abundance, acting and thinking as though her desires had already been fulfilled. Within a short period, her business exploded, and she went from being broke to making millions. What made her successful was not that she worked harder than anyone else, or that she got lucky. It was her unshakable belief that she was already a millionaire, long before she saw the material evidence of it. Her faith created the reality. She lived in the feeling of already having wealth, and the universe responded by bringing her the success she believed was hers all along. Another example is of a man who had a small startup with little capital. Despite his financial struggles, he began to speak daily affirmations like, "I am abundant. I attract wealth and success in all my ventures." He consistently acted as though he was already a successful entrepreneur, even though his circumstances were far from it. Within 2 weeks of embodying this mindset, a major investor reached out to him, providing the funding he needed to grow his business. These stories aren't unique, they are examples of the law in action. They show us that the key to manifesting wealth is to believe in it first, long before it materializes. So what's the difference between those who succeed in manifesting wealth and those who don't? It's faith. Those who manifest wealth know that wealth is already on its way, regardless of external circumstances. They have complete confidence that their desires are aligned with divine law and that the universe will bring them what they've asked for. They trust the process, even when they don't see the results right away. On the other hand, those who are constantly waiting for proof are held back by doubt. They need to see evidence of their desires before they believe they can have them. This is the opposite of faith. It's conditional belief, which only works in the realm of the material world. But faith works in the spiritual world, and it is this spiritual alignment that brings material results. Think about it this way. If you're waiting for evidence to believe in your wealth, you're telling the universe, I don't trust that you'll deliver. But when you believe before you see it, you're sending the message that you trust the process, and that you're ready for the wealth that is already on its way to you. The difference is clear. Faith is the precursor to manifestation. Without it, the universe cannot bring your desires to fruition. With it, the universe must respond. The moment you believe you are worthy of abundance and act as though it's already yours, the universe moves mountains to make it happen. So, how can you strengthen your faith and ensure that you are aligning with divine law? Speak and act as though you already have what you desire. Every time you speak your declarations, do so with the belief that it is already true. Act as if you already have the wealth, the success, the freedom you desire. Visualize your desires as already manifested. Spend time each day visualizing the life you want to live. See yourself already living in abundance. Feel the joy, freedom, and peace that come with financial prosperity. Eliminate doubt from your thoughts. Whenever doubt arises, immediately replace it with your declaration. If you think, I don't know if I'll ever be wealthy, replace it with I am already supplied. I walk in divine abundance. Stay consistent. Faith is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. The more you practice belief, the more solid your faith becomes. The more you believe in the wealth that is already yours, the more it will materialize. Now that you understand the power of faith in manifesting wealth, I want you to declare this for yourself. Say it aloud and feel the truth in these words. I believe before I see. Let this be your mantra for today and every day going forward. Type in the comments, I believe before I see. By saying this, you are affirming your commitment to believe in your abundance first and allow the universe to bring your wealth to fruition. Your faith is the key to unlocking the door to the financial freedom you've been waiting for. Wealth is not a random occurrence. It is not something that happens by chance or through sporadic bursts of effort. Wealth follows rhythm, not randomness. Divine law works through consistency, and it rewards those who align their actions, thoughts, and words with the flow of abundance on a steady basis. The universe responds to those who stay in rhythm with the principles of prosperity. When we speak about rhythm, we are referring to a consistent pattern, an alignment of thoughts, words, and actions that harmonize with the flow of wealth. Wealth is not drawn to chaos, uncertainty, or inconsistency. It is drawn to steady, persistent energy that radiates confidence, trust, and alignment with divine law. When you stay in rhythm with abundance, wealth is not something you chase. It is something that flows toward you. The first step in commanding wealth is understanding that consistency is key. People who consistently speak and act in alignment with wealth are able to manifest it more easily than those who dabble, shift their energy, or hesitate. Wealth flows naturally when you stay in rhythm, when your beliefs, words, and actions are all aligned with the idea that you are a magnet for abundance. Consider the example of someone who practices their declarations of wealth once or twice, and then stops, only to wonder why nothing has changed. They might say, I've tried affirmations, but they don't work for me. The truth is, they haven't stayed in rhythm with abundance. Their effort was too brief, and their energy was not sustained long enough to create lasting change. In contrast, someone who practices daily declarations, who makes their affirmations a regular part of their routine, creates a steady, consistent vibration that the universe responds to. They continue speaking abundance into their life each day, acting as though their wealth is already theirs, and taking inspired action without hesitation. Steady faith and daily practice create a continuous flow of energy that attracts wealth, just like a river that moves steadily toward the ocean. One of the most powerful ways to stay in rhythm with divine abundance is to maintain unwavering faith. Faith is not something you activate only when it's convenient. It is something you choose to embody every day. Those who have steady faith in their ability to manifest wealth are the ones who experience continuous financial flow. They do not doubt their worthiness or the process. They have complete trust that wealth is always on its way to them. People who shift their faith, believing one day and doubting the next, create confusion in their energy. The universe does not respond to doubt. It responds to clarity and consistency. When you have consistent faith, you send out a clear signal that you are ready to receive, and wealth begins to flow freely. Let's look at an example. Imagine two people both working on the same goal, say to manifest $10,000. One person affirms their goal daily, speaks with confidence, and takes steady action. The other person speaks their affirmation one day but starts doubting the next, wondering if they can really achieve it. The person with consistent faith is much more likely to see the money flow in, not because they're doing more work, but because their energy is in a steady rhythm of expectation, alignment, and trust. Faith is not about waiting for external signs before you believe. It's about believing first, no matter what the circumstances look like. And when you maintain unwavering faith, your reality shifts to match that belief. Wealth flows toward you when you maintain steady faith and stay in rhythm with abundance. In contrast, let's talk about the energy of dabbling. Dabbling in manifestation means dipping in and out of alignment. It's the lack of consistency, the brief bursts of energy followed by long periods of doubt, confusion, or inaction. People who dabble in their declarations of wealth often say things like, "I did my affirmations for a few days, but nothing happened." Or, "I tried to act as if I was wealthy, but it didn't work." What they don't realize is that their energy is not consistent enough to create lasting change. Wealth does not flow to those who give up too quickly or change their mindset every time they don't see immediate results. Wealth is drawn to those who stick with the process, who repeat their affirmations and actions every day without giving up. Dabble energy creates confusion and mixed signals in the universe, which is why those who don't stay consistent often don't see the results they desire. Consistency in wealth manifestation is like planting a seed and watering it every day, trusting that with time and care, it will grow. The moment you stop tending to it, the growth stops, and the process stalls. Wealth is the same way. If you truly want to manifest it, you need to stay in rhythm with abundance every single day. Let's look at a few examples of individuals who've experienced financial shifts through consistent energy and steady faith. A small business owner who wants to increase her income by 5. Every day she affirms, "I am abundant and worthy of wealth," and takes daily inspired action. She makes decisions from a place of certainty rather than fear. Within 3 months, her business grows significantly, and she surpasses her financial goal. A man who is consistently affirming, "Money flows to me effortlessly from all sources." He stays committed to his goal, remains open to new opportunities, and trusts that his investments will grow. Within weeks, he sees his portfolio grow substantially. A person who affirms daily, "I am worthy of my promotion and financial increase," and acts confidently at work, taking on new responsibilities. Within a short period, they receive a raise and a promotion, all as a result of staying in alignment with the rhythm of prosperity. In all of these cases, the key to success is consistency. Each person remained aligned with their wealth goal, spoke their declarations daily, and continued to act with faith. As a result, the universe responded by sending the opportunities, resources, and wealth they needed. The rhythm of wealth. Wealth does not follow the path of randomness or chaos. It follows the rhythm of divine law. The universe responds to those who stay in alignment with their abundance. When you maintain consistency in your declarations, faith, and actions, you create a magnetic force that pulls prosperity toward you. And when you align with this rhythm, wealth will not be something you chase. It will be something that flows naturally into your life. Now that you understand the power of staying in rhythm, I challenge you to commit to consistent energy for the next 7 days. Speak your declarations of wealth daily. Align your thoughts, words, and actions with your abundant identity. Stay in the rhythm of wealth. Type this in the comments. "I walk in the rhythm of wealth." By doing this, you are confirming your commitment to remain aligned with divine abundance. You are choosing to stay in the flow of prosperity every single day, knowing that as you do, the universe will respond by bringing your desires into reality. The truth is simple. Consistency is the bridge between your current financial situation and the prosperity you desire. When you commit to consistently applying the divine laws of wealth, your financial reality begins to shift. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Your declarations made in faith and spoken with authority have the power to transform every area of your life, especially your finances. But transformation doesn't happen overnight unless you put in the consistent effort required to create a new identity, speak new words, and take new action. In just 48 hours, you can begin to experience dramatic shifts in your financial condition. Many people believe that wealth is something that takes years of hard work to attain. They believe that financial freedom is something far off, reserved only for a lucky few or the exceptionally skilled. But the truth is, wealth is not a distant destination, it is something you can step into right now. When you consistently align yourself with divine abundance, the universe will meet you with opportunities, resources, and the prosperity you have been waiting for. Wealth follows consistency. It is as simple as that. To understand the power of consistent application of the divine laws, we need to look at the results that occur when people choose to consistently use their declarations, align their thoughts, and take inspired action. Transformation is inevitable when you commit to these principles for just a short period of time. Consider the example of a woman named Sarah. Sarah was living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to make ends meet. She had tried everything, working overtime, cutting back on expenses, borrowing money, but nothing seemed to work. Then Sarah discovered the divine principles of wealth manifestation. She decided to give them a shot, committing to speak her affirmations daily and act as though wealth was already hers. In the beginning, it felt unnatural. She felt the tension of doubt, wondering if this could really work for her. But she decided to stay consistent. Every morning, Sarah would declare, "I am supplied with all that I need and more. Money moves when I speak. I walk in divine abundance." She repeated these declarations throughout the day, visualizing herself living in abundance. By the end of the first 48 hours, Sarah had already noticed a shift. Small financial opportunities began to present themselves. A side gig she had been hesitant to pursue offered her an extra $500. An old friend reconnected and offered her a job opportunity, and a financial gift arrived from an unexpected source. None of these things were miracles, they were the natural response of divine law to Sarah's consistent faith and actions. Over time, these small shifts began to grow into significant financial improvements. Within a month, Sarah was no longer struggling to make ends meet. She was living in abundance. This is the power of consistency. When you consistently speak, think, and act in alignment with divine wealth, your reality cannot help but shift. The more you speak your affirmations, the more you see opportunities. The more you act as if your desires are already true, the more the universe aligns circumstances to match your new identity. The key to transforming your financial reality is shifting your identity. This is not just about affirmations or wishing for wealth, it's about embodying the wealth you desire. You must shift from seeing yourself as someone who is struggling to someone who is naturally abundant. Wealth is not something external to you, it is an identity that you claim as your own. When Sarah declared, "I walk in divine abundance," she was shifting her identity. She was no longer someone who lacked, she was someone who was already abundant. She was walking in the rhythm of divine wealth, speaking and acting in alignment with the belief that everything she needed was already on its way. This identity shift requires consistency. It's not enough to say an affirmation once or twice and expect immediate results. You must embody the declaration daily. You must consistently think, speak, and act as if wealth is already yours. When your identity shifts, your words naturally follow. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," you start saying, "I am supplied with everything I need and more." Instead of saying, "Money is hard to come by," you say, "Money moves when I speak." These words are not just affirmations, they are commands that align you with divine wealth. Finally, your actions must align with your new identity. As Sarah did, you must take inspired action steps that reflect your new reality. When opportunities arise, you seize them. You act with the confidence of someone who already has everything they need. Your actions will feel natural because they are in alignment with your new identity. So what exactly happens when you consistently apply these principles for just 48 hours? The shift is immediate. When you speak these declarations and begin to embody abundance, you will start to notice opportunities appear in ways you never expected. It could be a phone call offering you a new job, an unexpected financial gift, or even an idea for a side business that brings in additional income. These changes happen because the universe responds to your energy, and when you are aligned with divine abundance, wealth cannot help but flow to you. The key to this rapid transformation is faith, the belief that your wealth is already here. When you believe that you are already abundant, you act as though wealth is flowing to you right now, not in the future. This alignment creates instant momentum, and the universe begins to rearrange circumstances to match your vibration. The best part: once you've experienced this shift, you'll begin to see it happen again and again. The more you stay in rhythm with divine law, the more you will manifest wealth. This is the beauty of consistent practice. It compounds over time. You don't just manifest wealth once, you create a cycle of abundance that continues to grow and expand. Now, I want you to visualize a transformation you desire. Think about your financial situation, the goals you want to achieve, and the abundance you want to manifest. Imagine that in the next 48 hours, these changes are already happening. Type this in the comments. In 48 hours, I receive, insert desire. By typing this, you are committing to the transformation. You are declaring that in just 48 hours you are ready to see a shift. Stay consistent with your declarations and watch as the universe aligns your circumstances to bring your desires into reality. Imagine waking up each morning with the certainty that everything you need is already provided. No more stress, no more scrambling to make ends meet, no more wondering if you'll ever have enough. Wealth moves at your command, flowing easily into your life like a river that knows no boundaries. You're no longer working for money, you're living in the overflow of it. This is the life that is waiting for you when you learn to command your wealth with authority. This is the life of a person who aligns with divine law, the billionaire blueprint, where abundance is not something you chase, but something you receive effortlessly. Wealth obeys your word. And when wealth obeys your word, you step into a life of freedom. The freedom to live your life on your terms, the freedom to experience joy, fulfillment, and peace without the constant stress of financial struggle. You no longer have to worry about where your next paycheck will come from, or whether you can afford your dreams. Instead, money flows towards you naturally, easily, and in abundance. What does this life of overflow and freedom look like? In this life, wealth is no longer a distant dream. It's a reality that shows up for you every single day. You wake up, and there is no fear or worry about money. Instead, you are in the flow, knowing that your supply is unlimited. Whether it's a business opportunity, a new investment, or even an unexpected check in the mail, you live in the constant flow of abundance. In this life, money is not the goal. Freedom is. The freedom to live without the weight of financial pressure. The freedom to choose your path, to invest in your passions, to give generously without hesitation, and to live a life of peace and joy, knowing that everything you desire is already on its way to you. This is what happens when you align your words with divine law. Wealth is no longer something you have to work hard for. It is something you attract effortlessly. Take the example of John, a man who spent years struggling with his finances. He worked long hours at a job that didn't bring him joy, always worried about bills and never feeling like he had enough. But when John discovered the power of speaking his wealth into existence, aligning with divine law through declarations, everything changed. Every morning, John began declaring, "I am supplied with all that I need and more. Money moves when I speak. I walk in divine abundance." At first, it felt unnatural, even uncomfortable. But John stayed consistent. He continued to speak these declarations daily, visualizing himself living a life of freedom and abundance. Within 48 hours, John received a surprise business opportunity, something he had been waiting for years to appear. That one opportunity allowed him to launch a business that flourished rapidly, and within months, he was living in overflow. He no longer worried about money. It flowed to him effortlessly, and he was free to spend his time doing what he loved. John's story is just one example of how aligning with divine law and speaking wealth into existence can completely transform your life. Wealth is no longer a struggle. It is a natural response to the declarations of abundance you make every day. Now let's contrast this with the life of someone who never aligns with divine law, someone who continues to struggle and wait for wealth to show up on its own. This is the person who is constantly working harder, pushing for more, yet never seems to get ahead. They say things like, "I just can't catch a break," or "money is so hard to come by." For this person, wealth always feels out of reach. No matter how hard they work, it's like they're chasing after money, but it always slips through their fingers. Their life is marked by stress, frustration, and lack. The feeling that wealth is always just beyond their grasp. This is the life of someone who doesn't believe in their power to command wealth. They haven't discovered the truth that wealth responds to their words. They may work harder than anyone else, but they are still stuck in the rhythm of struggle. Their actions are filled with doubt, and their words are filled with scarcity. And because the universe responds to the vibration of their words, more struggle, more lack, and more waiting for wealth comes into their life. Now ask yourself this: which life do you want to live? Do you want to continue struggling, working harder for less, and feeling like wealth is always just out of reach? Or do you want to step into the billionaire blueprint, the life where wealth flows you effortlessly, where every opportunity is aligned with your abundance, and where you are free to live your life with joy and peace? The choice is yours, and it starts with your declaration. When you speak the words, "I walk in divine abundance," you step into your true identity as someone who commands wealth. You stop chasing it and start receiving it. You align with the rhythm of divine abundance, and money can no longer help but follow. I invite you to step into this reality. Visualize yourself living in overflow, where every financial need is met, where opportunities come to you without struggle, and where you are free to live on your own terms. Type in the comments, "By divine law, I receive insert desire." By typing this, you are declaring to the universe that you are ready for your abundance. You are stepping into the life, freedom, wealth, and overflow that is already yours. Wealth doesn't need to be earned, it needs to be commanded. And when you declare that wealth moves at your command, you create a life where money flows easily and effortlessly. As we come to the close of this transformative journey, I invite you to take a deep breath and feel the truth of everything we have spoken today. The words you've spoken, the declarations you've made, and the faith you've activated are all working together to bring your desires into reality. You are now aligned with divine law, and the flow of wealth is yours to command. I affirm to you that you are worthy of abundance, and it is your divine inheritance. Wealth is not something to be earned by struggle. It is your birthright as a child of the universe, as a spiritual being who is connected to the unlimited supply of divine abundance. From this moment forward, you are no longer bound by limitations. You are free to step into the life of prosperity and freedom that you've always been destined to live. I bless you now to receive all the wealth that is already on its way to you. Your supply is guaranteed. You are no longer waiting for abundance to arrive. It is here now, and as you continue to speak your declarations, embody your abundant identity, and take inspired action, the universe will respond by bringing you more than you could have ever imagined. I seal these 3 divine declarations in your heart and mind, knowing that they are now a part of you. These declarations are your truth, and they are the key to your financial transformation. I am supplied with all that I need, and more. Money moves when I speak. I walk in divine abundance. These are not just words, they are commands to the universe. They align your vibration with divine prosperity, and they activate the flow of wealth into your life. As you speak these words with conviction and confidence, you are stepping into your rightful place in the flow of abundance. You no longer need to struggle for what is already yours. You are worthy of every financial blessing that is now unfolding before you. And as you walk in alignment with divine law, you will find that your life becomes a constant stream of overflow and freedom. As you step into this new chapter, I offer a prayer of blessing. May you always walk in the light of abundance, knowing that every step you take is guided by divine law. May your words be filled with the rhythm of wealth, and may your actions be aligned with your prosperity. May you never doubt your worthiness of divine provision, and may you always trust that the universe is working in your favor. Let the flow of wealth be constant and effortless, as you embody the truth that you are already supplied with all that you need and more. May you live a life of freedom, where the chains of financial struggle are broken forever, and may you always walk in the confidence that wealth is your divine inheritance, flowing to you easily and without resistance. Stepping into the life of overflow. Now I invite you to take this blessing into your heart and step boldly into your new life. A life of abundance, a life where money moves at your command, and a life where you live in the overflow of all that the universe has for you. As you continue to walk this path, know that you are never alone. Divine law is always with you, guiding you, supporting you, and making sure that your prosperity is guaranteed. You are now a vessel of divine wealth, and the universe must respond to your declaration. Remember, stay in rhythm with divine abundance. Speak your declarations daily, live with the certainty that wealth is already yours, and continue to take inspired action without hesitation. The rhythm of wealth is your rhythm, and as you stay aligned with it, you will see the overflow and freedom that you have always dreamed of. If this message has resonated with you, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, not because you need more information, but because staying in rhythm with divine abundance requires consistent practice. By subscribing, you are choosing to stay connected to the flow of prosperity, to continue your journey of transformation, and to stay in alignment with the wealth that is already on its way to you. Like, share, and subscribe as you continue to stay in the rhythm of divine abundance, and watch as wealth flows effortlessly into your life. So it is.